I have quite a few ElgatoHD60s or PlayStation exclusive physical games for the PlayStation Vita, PlayStation 4 and especially for the Nintendo Switch. I've showed you these when I made a video about smashing the battle on the Nintendo Switch. This time around, let's tackle the only PlayStation exclusive I have for the PlayStation 5 currently, Reverie Sweet As Edition. Well, by the time of this video, maybe I have more than one. This game, developed by indie developer Rainbite, was first released in 2018 for the PlayStation Vita. Shortly after that it was released for the PlayStation 4 and then for the Nintendo Switch in 2019. In 2023 it was also released for the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, Xbox One and PC in digital form, but this is the physical PlayStation 5 version you are seeing here, thanks to PlayAsia and ElgatoHD60s. And keep in mind, this game was developed by just 3 men, but I can tell you right now that despite the very small team and me not knowing how the PlayStation Vita, PS4 or any other version performed, this PlayStation 5 version performed rather well. Not perfect though, because this happened to me once in the 9 hours total I've spent on this game. Only 9 hours because the game isn't very long, but it doesn't need to be. It just needs to be a fun game, and that's what Reverie mostly is. So you start the game with a backstory about Zeke, his brothers and the Totomi Island. Now you come into play. You play as a kid called Ness. Mario. Tai. You and your mother are making a trip to visit your grandparents on the Totomi Islands, and since you are a kid, and let's be honest, kids love adventure, well, at least I did when I was a kid, you go ahead and explore the island. One of your first missions is to find an old book for your grandpa, and to do that, you need to explore this dungeon. This is where you come across the spirits of the brothers from the opening, and your mission now will be to explore what actually happened back then and save Totomi Island from the raging fight between the brothers. But here is what I really like about this. This game is more interested in giving you, as a player, an adventure rather than shoving the story in your face. Which is why even the grandfather tells you some kind of story about kiwis when you get his book back and just tells you, go explore the island, instead of, please save the island. Meaning, the story is there, and yes, it's important to the game, but it's more of a background thing rather than anything else. So you go and explore the island, its caves, its waters, find collectibles in form of feathers, defeat enemies to get coins or pizza slices, and play a few mini-games based on old school games like shooting moving targets, an arcade vertical shooter, or table pong. In this obvious old school original Zelda style game, and by original Zelda I mean Zelda 1, you walk around and mostly bat the shit out of your enemies in the same way Link did back then with his sword. You have 2 more slots for 2 more weapons, and you can always change them to your heart's content. Depending on the fun puzzles you have to solve, you absolutely need to change those items around, either to flip a switch you can't reach, block a laser that damages you, and stuff like that. During the fighting though, only your bat will actually defeat the enemies, because the yo-yo will only stun them, the shovel will belly up these, well, let's call them turtles you can't damage otherwise, etc. It's actually quite fun to do all of this in Reverie. The developers clearly love the old school, and I am all for that because I do it too, and if you do it as well, then you most likely will like this game. The movements flow really well, the hit detection isn't necessarily precise, but its slight dodginess, let's say, isn't much of an issue. Loading times are essentially, well, none, at least on the PS5, and for some reason your first boss is a washing machine. Sadly though, this is the only weird boss in the game. It would have been a bit nicer, at least in my opinion, if it had weird bosses or enemies like these across the game. Or heck, if it had more dark areas, because this is also the only one in the whole game. Visually, I don't need to say much because you've been staring at it this whole time. The game has very nice colors, it works well, it's mostly stable, at least the physical PS5 version. No real glitches or anything. The enemy designs are pretty simple, but I think that fits well considering what this game actually wants to be, and it doesn't stay for too long either. By that I mean that Reverie, once again, isn't a long game at all. I beat it in about 9 hours, but since I am an idiot, I was stuck for a while in 1 or 2 dungeons, but you can easily beat it 100% in a shorter time. Music and sound effects? Well, take a listen. So if you beat the game, you still can do a few things. These things are mostly for completionists though. You can find these feathers for your collection or complete the whole map and... well, technically that's about it. But hey, for a small game and a small dev team like Rain Bike, then it's absolutely fine. But they also included an extra dungeon to where you go from room to room and have to defeat everything inside. Yes, this is also the hardest dungeon in the game because of the amount of enemies in every room, including returning bosses. Still, it's not too hard to beat. The goal in this dungeon is to find an optional item, but it would have been nice as well if they also added a new dungeon exclusive boss at the end. But oh well. So overall, Reverie is a charming and fun game created by developers that like the old school. From my perspective, this game is quality time for sure.